Okay, all right, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's very, very rare occasion that normally our all the events normally goes over the schedule, but we are running ahead of time. So that is a good achievement for all of us that we are keeping our conversation very crisp and to the point. And now we're coming to a very important subject. In fact, post-COVID, IT has been a very, very strong backbone across major sectors which are driving our economy. And power is undoubtedly, one of the very key requirements of the citizen, especially when we are moving towards the mission of 24/7 electricity, water supply, utilities are becoming very, very self-reliant and sustainable. And that is only possible because of usage of IT and latest trends and technologies which are shaping the future of energy landscape. We have lots of usage in the current scenario of AI ML. We have smart sensors, we have advanced monitoring systems which are actually really helping in deciding what forecast we have to take moving forward, the consumer needs and requirements. And also especially for which in the morning we heard our minister Ranjit Singh about this statement that Haryana is among the second runner in the reduction of T&D losses. And one of the very important factors for that is also the usage of technology, which really helps in your reduction of losses. So we have a very eminent panel, and this is the last panel discussion, and we will try to make it very, very interactive. We have Mr. Naveen Kumar Gupta. He is representing Bhakra Beas Management Board. He's the Director HR and IT. Then we have an NIC SIO, Mr. Deepak Bansal. So NIC, again, it's like a central body which is working across all the departments, be it urban, health, IT, power. And we have Mr. Jasminder Singh, Regional Manager of eGov Foundation. First of all, my thanks to all the panelists for taking out time and coming out for this panel discussion. So to begin this discussion, I would first want all the three panelists to set the tone and give their opening remarks very, very briefly in just like maximum 2 to 3 minutes. Our topic is role of IT in facilitating energy efficiency. So in my opening remark, I would expect that you highlight the broad perspective from your thing, which we should actually be covering here, and what according to you are major IT technologies and solutions that you in your role kind of experience utilities being adopted, and how we should move forward for the IT ecosystem. So I'll begin with Mr. Naveen Kumar Gupta, the Director IT of Bhakra Beas. Sir, your opening remarks, please.
Thank you so much. As has been told, IT has been the enabler of energy transition that we are seeing at the moment. If I go back 20 years, we were not having so much of an IT solutions available in the power sector. Though, as you all know, power sector, when there is any problem in the power sector, for example, if there is a grid disturbance or anything, it doesn't give you a chance for a manual intervention. So the only savior for the power sector is IT. And I'm happy to tell you that as power sector, we had been deriving certain innovations in IT. And today we have many solutions available. I would say things like blockchain, AI, ML. I'm very sure that going forward, power sector will be a big consumer of these technologies. So as we are discussing since morning, we are in a scenario where power demands are growing exponentially. We have come a long way from something like 2000 megawatt at the time of independence to today we are at around 429 gigawatt installed capacity. And going forward, we are planning to have, we'll be taking it up to something like 900 gigawatt by the year 2032. And simultaneously, we have a goal of renewables. We have a very big goal of renewables. We have to integrate 500 gigawatts of renewables by 2030. So when you are talking about that much of renewable capacity, you all know that renewables have their own problems. The renewables, the intermittency is the biggest problem that we have with renewables. So you have to mix and match all the sources of power, may it be conventional, may it be fossil fuel based, may it be hydro, to meet the grid demands. So to do all that in real time, I think the IT is a big enabler. You have to have IT solutions, and of course we have come a long way since last 2 decades. We have introduced IT in all our operations. If I start from generation to transmission, distribution, and even to the consumption patterns, the IT has enabled even the consumers to accurately predict their loads. And today we have a concept of smart homes where you can actually monitor each and every unit being consumed, and you can optimize to that level. So I have no doubt about it. IT has a big role to play in a power sector. We as utilities have been using IT infrastructure for a long time now. And as we go forward, I think the demand for IT solutions will keep on increasing in the power sector, because the complexities and demand are growing day by day. And of course, once we have the renewables, then of course we try that we should be able to use every unit which is produced by the renewables, and in turn we try to save the fuel costs. So again, you need to take decisions in the real time, for which IT is a big enabler. So with this, of course, if we talk about transmission as well, we have come a long way in transmission sector. Today we have phasor measurement units, we have SCADA systems through which we are monitoring the grid in real time. And of course, we are taking real-time decisions about the dispatcher today is much more capable of handling the grids as it was 20 years ago. So of course, in transmission also, we have a lot of IT systems today, and the penetration of IT systems is increasing day by day. Similarly, in distribution sector, as I said, that we have home area networks. We even consumers are becoming prosumers nowadays. They can actually produce electricity, and technologies like blockchain, they are even enabling consumer to consumer transactions. So all the grid, you can buy electricity from anywhere. The things are getting more and more efficient, and that technology is proliferating in every aspect of the power system. And I think this in turn will make our grids more resilient, and ultimately it will bring in efficiency into the operations. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This was Naveen Kumar Gupta. An excellent opening statement. He has very, very briefly touched upon very, very important subjects of this discussion, grid disturbance, and then he has also laid down some of the objectives of the government, like 900 gigawatt by 2032. These are very, very inspiring numbers, and I'm sure with the right intent and right usage of technology, we will be able to meet this. And as you said, renewable capacity will keep on increasing, and the kind of numbers we are targeting, obviously it is very, very, data is very high, and then requirement is very high. We need to have the robust IT system in place. So thank you, Mr. Naveen Gupta, for this opening statement. Now I would pass the opening statement to Mr. Deepak Bansal, the State Information Officer of Government of Haryana. Sir, your opening remarks, and especially I would want to also ask you, because since you are sitting at the Haryana's you are one of the person who would be credited for this IT enablement and the T&D losses which had been reduced. So kindly also touch upon that in your opening statement.
On the opening note, I will like to say that the organization which are managed by the good IT system, they can perform better. In Haryana, you know that there are around 78 lakh connections, out of which there are 58 lakh domestic connections. And the state is now vying for providing the state-of-the-art services to the citizen. In this regard, we have taken few initiatives. First of all, we have provided a WhatsApp chat box through which a citizen can avail any services related to citizen. And with the help of this, we have been able to contain the delays in delivering of the services in the state. Earlier, we used to take around 30 days as per the SLAs provided by the power department to the state government. But with the help of these systems, we have been able to provide the services and the connections within 9 days to the citizens. Apart from this, the consumption of electricity in the state also is an indicator of the economic status of the citizen of the state. Because in Haryana, we are running a project, ambitious project, which is called Parivar Pehchan Patra. In Parivar Pehchan Patra, one thing is to determine the economic status of a citizen. We have, and income is variable all the time. So we found a key parameter in terms of power consumption based upon which we can access the income of a citizen, because we have, through our AI and ML or algorithms, we have been able to find that based on the consumption of the electricity, we can know the actual socio-economic status of the citizen. So on the basis of this, we are calculating the income of the citizen, and based upon that, we are providing the services to the citizen. In Haryana, right now we are going for smart metering in the 4 districts, and it is expected to complete by 31st March, and in the month of August, we will be covering whole of the state of the Haryana. The digital systems which are available with us through ERPs, we have been able to manage the better inventories in terms of fuels and coal management. And apart from this, we have been able to assist the citizens in getting timely delivery of the services. And I am happy to inform you that Haryana is the only state in India where we have implemented the Right to Service Act in toto, and every delay in delivery of service, whether it may be what you call restoration of power, electricity, or delivery of new connection, everything is monitored, and we are able to adhere to the timelines set up by the state under the Right to Service Act. And 98% of our applications we are able to dispose of within the time frame. So this has brought the confidence of the citizen into our lives. And since we are having a whole lot of data, the security of that data is paramount. So we are taking initiatives to secure that data from illegal access, and provide what you call relentless service to the citizen. That's all from us.
Thank you, Mr. Deepak Bansal. You touched upon a very important, statement in your opening remark, that is customer experience, and very, very excellent example and remarkable the way you are using WhatsApp and other things, which is making the citizen experience, to a next level. And this is also one of the reason how, we are leveraging technology, and ultimately whatever we are providing, it is kind of a business wherein we are serving to the consumers, and their satisfaction is at foremost priority. So I think this subject we would come again later on. But thanks for your opening remark. Now I would ask Mr. Jasminder Pal Singh, the regional manager of eGov Foundation, about and sir, a little bit about what eGov Foundation actually is doing. I would specifically want you to talk about, and then you come to this opening remark regarding the role of IT in facilitating energy efficiency.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, everyone. So, about eGov Foundation. So, eGov Foundation was funded almost 2 decades back by Shri Nandan Nilekani ji. This is a non-for-profit and works very closely with the governments across the country, and now extending its arms towards the global region as well. So, the major part of the synergies that at eGov are involved on missions like health, urban, transport. We are getting into sanitation. So for the societal impact that all we can do for the nations. So we are working very closely with that Jal Shakti mission. We are working. Then we have a platform called Upyog, which is being used by most of the urban local bodies across the country. Now coming back to what we have in plate for the energy sector is that and to increase the efficiency. So there is a lot of demand and the most pain area of the agencies is to be self-sustainable. So the reason for that is there is a lot of fiscal imbalance within. So my colleagues from the power sector, the discoms, they can second my thoughts that there is a lot of payments which get due towards the government departments itself. So while there are departments like health, rural development, local governments, or the departments which have their distributed offices across the states, so they end up piling the bills and don't pay back. So that gives a financial shock to the discoms as well as to the state exchequer. So in order to support the state government and the FD for that, there is a platform called iFix. We are working very closely with Government of India as well as Government of Punjab to implement the same, wherein the FD department will be able to have the clear dashboard available, as well as the state discom will have the clear dashboard available that which particular department has what pendency of the bills. And even the FD will be able to see how much revenue that particular department or the subsidiary of that particular department is generating, so that it is valuable to see that how much that particular agency can afford to pay back from its own resources, and hence the debt on the FD becomes lesser. Many times it happens even while I was part of the government prior to joining eGov. So I know that we do take budgets for payment of electricity bills as part of our annual budget schemes. However, we end up not paying back to the discoms. So those are kind of the few solutions which can be implemented. Apart from that, there are many IoT-based, ICT-based solutions that have come into market, and smart meters, as Deepak ji just shared about, they are now taking a long space. Punjab, even while I was in Punjab working very closely with the Secretary Power, so we have initiated it for almost all the large commercial organizations in the state for the smart meters. Many new upcoming sectors or the societies in the urban area are also being provided with the smart meters. So they will be speaking a lot on the IoT devices later throughout the session. So, but all these IT revolutions are bringing so much efficiency in transmission and hence saving the energy at a larger aspect. Thank you.
Thank you, Jasminder, sir, for your opening remarks, and I think excellent work eGov Foundation is doing, and your collaboration with Punjab, I think it is definitely worth applause for the dashboard that you are working on. I'm sure you would be in future keen to work with other states, and this is what the objective of this knowledge sharing platform is, that we meet like-minded people, and we create the avenues for collaboration so that we have a society wherein we all can learn from each other. So now let's move to some specific questions related to some subjects that are important to be covered in this IT. Uh, there are two things when we talk about the energy ecosystem. First is understanding what exactly is the demand and analysis of city wise or area wise, because it is always heavy centric on some very highly populated areas, and then there are rural areas also. So IT is what really helps you to understand the metric and analytics of which all areas you should focus on, and how the demand should be met. And this is what we call demand forecast. And then secondly, it is also about how we can actually give some analytics and briefing. In fact, some smart meters, and they are giving some analytics of the user consumption in their houses. Like, so these are few technologies which are in place. And let's specifically talk about smart meters, as Mr. Deepak Bansal was still telling. Almost we have 4 districts which are in pipeline of usage of smart meters. So what exactly is the future, and especially the smart meters? How can these be really powerful tool, especially in the reduction of the losses, and also in fact, as I said, there are lots of energy wastage which is happening, but these analytics could really help us in a lot of other ways. So what is the current and in future scenario, in fact, for smart meters? I would want to ask specifically our panelists. So I'll begin with again Mr. Naveen.
Yeah. As I said, I think smart meters are it's a basic building block of the smart grid. And basically all the technologies, when you're talking about IT, basically IT works on data. And the source of data is primarily a smart meter. And that is what makes it really critical. Even smart meters, or for that matter IoT devices, are these are the equipment which are the building blocks of our grid, or the smart grid. Where you are able to acquire the data, then you have to apply analytics on that, and based on those analytics, it will give you the insights that what exactly are you operating, where are the where efficiencies can be incorporated, what all improvements you can bring in. Obviously smart meters, again, they have come a long way, and today we have many mature products which are being deployed across the electricity supply line. I think Haryana has done a great job. This also primarily driven by things like smart meters and IoT devices. They have been able to reduce their T&D losses substantially, and I think that there definitely it's a way ahead for other utilities in the country. That we ultimately we have to deploy, we have to monitor our operations in the real time, through which we can bring in efficiency in our operations. And obviously smart meters play a very crucial role in this. Thank you.
As far as Haryana is concerned, the main emphasis of the state government is to deliver state-of-the-art services to the citizen. And with the help of smart metering, we have been able to contain the line losses, because every asset of the state government now has been mapped on GIS, and we have a visualization at any given point of time where the losses are being taking place and how to plug them. Apart from this, we are also going into a confidence building measure, trust building measure, where in Haryana, wherever there is no smart metering, we are asking for the citizen that for 1 month, they will upload their meter reading themselves, and next month our meter reader will go there and check it. So ultimately, the effort which is put in collection of meter reading will be eliminated once we are in place with the smart metering in the state. And smart metering has already been done for the large business houses, large industrial units in the state. This has helped the state PSUs, power utilities to maintain better balances. My friend has already said that there are huge bills pending in the states with respect to the government offices, but we have came up with an innovative idea that we have linked the budget of the state departments and of their offices with the your billing of the your power utilities. So every month we are getting timely payment from the our user departments, and this is helping to maintain a healthy financial position of the power utility.
Yeah. So in order to continue my discussion which we started previously about the smart meters, so I will go a bit back and talk about why the need arose for the society to have smart meters available. So previously, every one of us have seen the bill collector used to come to our houses every month on a particular date and takes out the reading, goes back. So why I'm sharing this story is that there is a saving of the time, saving of that manpower for that particular job to go house to house and take out the reading and then getting the bill generated. And then we used to fight a lot that mere meter mein actually the reading is X, however it is written Y. Many times it is by mistake, but to be very frank, many times it has been by virtue of the hanky-panky things that go at the down the line in the energy sector or in any utility sector for say. Even we had found that the rates that go for the flying squad and the enforcement wing that goes to the commercial buildings and check out the meter reading and the bill meter reading, many a times it had been found a difference. However, again, due to the corrupt practices, those raids are not that much successful. So that was one of the very first factor that moved. We should first go with the high bill payers and have the smart energy meters deployed, because that was one of the biggest revenue loss for the state. This is true across the nation, even for the residential as well as for the industrial sector. Then by the collection of that particular data, the smart meters that these days we are going to have, the meters are so much smart that you can remotely control the electricity at your place. You can there are I am aware the smart meters available in the Gurgaon, one of the district in Haryana. So they have smart meters to the capacity that you can switch on or switch off your home appliances remotely. You can pay the bills in advance also. So that's a prepaid meters. There are postpaid meters. So in the case of Punjab that we had done with Secretary Power, so there we have the postpaid meters, which is a SIM enabled, and there is no need of the person going and having the reading done. The data that arises is one of the crucial thing. Though the data used to be there previously as well, but it was in the logbooks. So due to the coming of the information systems like of SAP or even now the data lakes that are being driven through the bulk data that we have for the power consumption, we can analyze that data and see the patterns that are drawn for similar kind of households. So it is very now easy for the state governments to, and especially the discom companies to look into the data and find the patterns of the energy consumption of one household with similar kind of, let's say with X number of people residing in that household, appliances, and having a 3 kilowatt of connection, hypothetically I'm taking an example, and another similar household. So we can now compare the two households and see what is the reason that the first household is having let's say 1,000 rupee bill and another is having just 200. So that means there is some issue either in the reading of the meter, or he has done some kundi connection kind of thing and is doing theft in the energy. So such kind of use cases are coming forward, wherein these are only possible when we have this digitized data with us coming from smart devices.
Excellent, Jasminder. I think you have very nicely elaborated what are the various advantages of using smart meters, especially the saving of time and one more important point, as the machines are less prone to make errors by humans. So I think, as you explained earlier, how the bills used to be generated, so smart meters have really given a next level experience, and we can now pay a bill in advance. So a lot of things are changing with the usage of smart meters. And as said by Naveen sir, Haryana government has this topmost priority to adopt smart meters in almost, I think in future, all the households, but it will go step by step. So I think now I'll move to the next subject. We all have talked about a lot of data being generated, a lot of kind of user information being generated, and that study of that information would really help us in forecasting the future roadmap. But at the same time, in fact, one gentleman did touch upon the security challenges and security issues also. So I want to ask my next question. It is regarding what are the privacy and security considerations when we associate with the collecting and sharing of energy usage data through IT systems. So let's specifically talk about security, because we can't ignore it when we are talking about digitalization. It should go hand in hand with the equal focus on security. So my question to the gentleman, starting with Mr. Naveen.
Yeah, thank you. See, basically, as we all know, cybersecurity issues and data privacy are the pitfalls with any IT solution, and more so with the power sector. As we all know, that power sector, power for that matter, is a building block for any economy. Like it is the wheels of the economy on which it is driven. So that way. And obviously, as we say, that the wars of today, they are not being fought on borders. They are being fought sitting in homes and wreaking the attacks on the other countries and things like that. So the power utilities per se have become very prone to the cybersecurity attacks. And along with that, as you said, that we are as we are collecting more and more data of the consumers, so we also have the responsibility to keep that data protected. So data privacy concerns are also an issue. Some of the countries in the world, they have enacted some specific laws also to protect the consumers from this data privacy, from theft of data. And if you can imagine, the data pertaining to the consumption of power can really tell a lot about the habits of the individual, your lifestyle, even your wealth. So data, or your energy consumption data, is a critical piece of information that needs to be secured. And at the same time, we need to secure the infrastructure that we have created. As we earlier discussed, we are using IT in all the sectors, starting from generation, distribution, transmission, and even to the consumption. So IT infusion per se, it makes it prone to cybersecurity attacks, and we need to keep our systems secure at all points of times. So different countries have come up with many such laws, and there are already ways and means in place, but it is an ongoing war. I would say we have to keep our defenses high, because every day new threats come and we have to address those challenges. And particularly power sector, as I said, is a very prone to cybersecurity attacks. This is one of the main areas of concern. From the utility point of view, as I come from the utility which is operating some of the nation's most prestigious power plants, So it's always a matter of concern for us, and we keep our heels high whenever we deploy any IT infrastructure. And IT, of course, in these times, and keeping in view the energy demands that we have in future, we cannot ignore the IT systems. We have to go with the IT solutions. But yes, simultaneously we have to enact the laws to secure the data and our infrastructure, and at the same time we have to deploy all the defenses to protect these systems. Thank you.
Hello. Being Deputy CISO of the state, it is my prime responsibility that data, whatever data we are collecting, it should be safe and secure. So in Haryana, we have established web security policies, and to be doubly sure to safeguard the data of the power utilities, we have established our in-house data centers so that in public domain, the information should not travel, because these days we are getting most of the time man in the middle attack, which tend to change the data during transit. So we have secured our all infrastructure through MPLS system, and proper firewalls have been put in place so that unwanted traffic is not moved in our networks. Apart from this, we have ensured that the access to the database is only through our internal systems only. So we are not keeping any our databases on a public IPs, so as to ensure that the information is secured. Apart from this, we have also created a DR site, so that because the data is coming to us every second, every fraction of second. So to have business continuity, we have created our DR sites at Panchkula, and main site is at Hisar, so that people should get uninterrupted support from the system. That's it.
So my colleagues have already spoken a lot on the cybersecurity and the CISO models on securing this information that is residing on this system. I will add a new angle to it, wherein the more and more smart we are going in the power distribution sector, the more and more threats that are being targeted to this particular sector. And it is very vital to see at this particular time how are we going to secure our smart grids that we have, because the ransomware attacks are being planned to be targeting on the smart grids, and we can think about that if the grid is hacked, then there is a complete blackout throughout our zones, and the replication of that particular threat is multi-folds. We have data centers running in, we have so many other health facilities which are dependent on the power. So this is one of the crucial factor which needs to be taken well care of. As Deepak ji just shared that the IP protocols are being well maintained by the state governments. So there should be a continuous process to review what all protocols we are deploying or the IP that we are exposing. Sometimes a human error may happen wherein some IP may be opened from remotely while working on particular ticket or issue, and sometimes we forget to close that particular channel that is opened to communicate to a particular IoT device that is there on the grid or at the meter side. So this is one very most important thing to take care by the distribution companies or the state IT team as a whole. Another important factor is while we are pulling up the data to analyze and bring out the information, the desired information for making business decisions out of the data that we collect for citizens, there is a dire need to take care that the personal identifiable information is not exposed to the community or to the reporting agencies and the system integrators that are there with us. There should be a proper NDA or even the role-based access should be given so that the digital data protection bill related issues are well taken care of. So there are various systems available, well drafted documents are there which can be taken into consideration by the development agencies or the teams that we have in-house or through the system integrators. And the CISO in the state can well take care and endorse the system and ensure there is no leakages happening for the data or the threat is coming into the system.
Thanks a lot, Jasminder. And I think through this round, it is very clear that we can't compromise on the security. Energy outage, I think it happens everywhere, but at least we don't want the IT being the reason for that. Imagine your system, your whole grid system, your whole dashboard being hacked, and then it becomes the reason of the energy outage. So this is something that nobody would ever want. So I think a lot of steps that we have already taken, and especially Haryana as a government has taken, their security policies are very, very great in terms of ensuring how the data is secure and how we are, in fact, in-house data center. That is also one of the reasons why we are able to meet the security needs and requirements which citizens expect while sharing their data. So I think excellent this round for the security discussion. Now I would want to move to a subject which again we have talked about how technology is helping us reduce the losses, analytics of the need, demands and metrics and all in security. Now let's move to the other side of the story, which is the consumers. In fact, we in the opening statement we did talk about, in fact, Mr. Deepak talked about how Haryana government is using WhatsApp for resolving the queries for the new connections and how it has drastically reduced the timelines of action, turnaround time for the various activities which used to take months, and now we are doing it in days. And I think in next would be doing it in just click of a button. So for the consumer betterment and experience, I would want to ask all the gentlemen here, what should be the way forward and what current scenarios, as per your experience, you have observed in your organization as well as for the utility discoms as a whole. In fact, not just from Haryana's perspective, but what your views are. How can we better the ecosystem for the citizen experience, and so that we have minimal complaints and citizen actually start facing less problems, and they become kind of very, very, very satisfied for that. So this round of question, I'll start again with Mr. Naveen for the your views on how we can better the citizen experience in the utilities.
Thank you. So I think as far as our consumers are concerned, particularly I would talk about domestic consumers. I think going forward we need to empower them. It's very important for us. I think till date they are quite immune to what is happening in the grid. They have not been exposed to the variabilities in the grid and the challenges that are coming up with renewables. So going forward, we'll have to flatten our load curve. We'll have to empower them to make informed decisions on when to consume power, at what rate to consume power. Because so far as our utilities today are concerned, they are absorbing all the fluctuations, and we have a fixed tariff kind of mechanism which is being provided to the end consumer. and they are more or less immune to the fluctuations of the grid. But of course, we are putting up more and more technology. Like we are coming up with the pump storage plants, battery storage solutions. They also come at a cost. So if we talk about, let's say, for that matter, if we talk about storage technologies, pump storage solutions are the most cost-effective solutions in the world. But still, as per my experience, they add a minimum of 3 to 4 rupees per unit of the cost of the electricity. So it is better if we pass on that benefit to the consumer and involve them in making the informed decisions through this demand response, that they can actually choose. Like we have many redundant loads in our households. For example, we have geysers, then we may have electric charging, vehicle charging facilities, which can be switched on at any point of time. So if we pass on that benefit to the consumer, that okay, now I have excess energy in my grid, and you pay lesser and consume the power, rather than switching on those loads at the time when I'm facing the peak power demands in the grid. So that will empower the consumer, that will bring in more efficiency, and that in turn will flatten the grid. So that is one way to involve the consumer, and I think it is a win-win situation for both the consumer as well as to the utilities. So we'll be able to restrict our capital investment by installing the which we have to incur by installing the captive plants for energy storage, and in turn the consumer will be benefit that they will have to bear the lesser cost. So this is one way. Of course, if we look at the world over scenario, many countries are already doing it, but in India we have not done that so far. Of course, at transmission level, it is being done. But we need to proliferate all these things to the consumer level and empower them. And then, of course, we can, going forward, we'll have to provide the usage patterns that we are collecting. We are collecting a lot of data from smart meters. We need to give the access to that data to the consumers themselves, so that they can actually see what kind of consumption patterns they have, where we can optimize. Then, of course, there are many ways and means to involve the consumer, but we have to incentivize the economics. If you save energy, you get paid. These are some of the things that going forward I think we don't have any option. We'll have to do it, and the sooner the better. So thank you so much.
The IT systems which are part of power scenario, we should do the demand analysis, consumer power consumption behavior, and a thorough analysis of fault which are happening. Because the beauty of any system lies with the confidence which a citizen shows in our system. So, to start, in Haryana, we have started we have drawn a norm that in urban area, whatever type of the fault may be, we should able to rectify the problem within next 2 hours. And for this, at every call center or complaint center, we have put in place at least 2 transformers, so that in the eventuality, if a transformer is burnt out, it should be replaced within 2 hours. And we are exhaustively monitoring it, and complaints are being registered against the erring officials of the state government for not making the power up within 2 hours. And Right to Service Act, which has came to our rescue, and we have penalized financially to our officers who are responsible for delivering the services. Now we have enough data with us. The era has come that the confidence building measures should be taken. And I think in the present scenario, introducing the blockchain technologies in management of our data, our consumption behavior, our billing, our power production will help us a lot in providing the real-time picture of the information so that we can substantiate on that information which is totally secure and trustable. So now we are looking forward to go for blockchain technologies implementation in the state so that we can provide the better services to the citizen across the world.
So Jasminder, your views.
Yeah, as Deepak ji just mentioned, so that's what we also started way back, almost a decade back, when I was looking into the state grievances redressal system. So at that time, the government had, along with the chief minister, started with a service called 1912, if I'm not wrong with the number. So with that particular number, so as Deepak ji also shared that there is a tag given to each category of the complaint, whether this is a line fault, this is a transmission fault, this is a grid fault. So every kind of complaint had its own tag. The complaint got auto-escalated to the next authority, from the lineman to supervisor to JE to STO to XCN. Depending on the escalation metrics as well as the time concerned for the each and every ticket. So the one, we had multiple ways of raising a complaint. The person could have called upon a number through a chat bot, which was later on converted into WhatsApp bot, through a web portal, or by default call through the mobile app also. So mostly the high volume transactions were happening through the mobile app as well as the number 1912. The second part that we introduced into it, and which I was leading under the direct guidance of the chief minister, deputy chief minister at that time, which was about taking the feedback from the citizen, whether your complaint was successfully resolved, whether the TAT as told by the officers is correct, were you asked to pay for it, which is obviously the corrupt practices. So we used to take that particular feedback through human assisted mode. We do send a SMS also, but the resolution or the complaint back on the feedback through the SMS was very low. However, through the agent assisted, we found it was very good, and we used to make graphs out of that and present to the highest authorities to take a look at it, and it improves the solution a lot. Till date, the solution is perfectly running up in time. It's been almost a decade. The things are in place, running in an auto mode. This is one of the things which definitely affect and make the citizen happy because it ensures availability of energy, of power. Second, then there are many devices which are coming up in market. Many smart devices are being used by citizens themselves also. But as I told, we have communicated the same to the power department, that the smart meter should be smart enough that we don't need to have the additional devices to be plugged into the homes. I should be able to automatically from my mobile phone tell my meter that it should run at this particular kilowatt when I'm away from home, so that the caretakers do not overconsume the electricity when I'm not at my home. Another thing is the remote control of running the power of my smart meter should be in my hands. Secondly, though there are many devices that are also coming up, which most of us have installed at our places, is to remotely control a particular equipment at our house also. So many plug and play devices have come into effect. And yes, I'm missing Mr. MP Singh here. He has been kind enough to deploy the systems at our offices, majorly into the Punjab Civil Secretariat and many other offices across the city in Chandigarh, wherein my presence allows the bulb to illuminate. Otherwise, it is not in the power on mode. So by doing that, there is lot of saving of the energy. It's a public money. It is a public infrastructure. We should definitely take care of that. And by installing such kind of devices at government offices and even at our places also, at our homes, definitely helps a lot and makes us also happy, as well as the discoms also happy, because we save the energy.
Thank you, Jasminder. I think very, very valid and very, very interesting points in this citizen, experience. How can we better it? In fact, a couple of points were really very, very out of the box, especially what Mr. Naveen said about empowering consumer and involving them in every stage, so that they could also be part of because to better an experience, it requires efforts from both the side, and they should understand what utilities might also be facing as a challenge, and then usage of technology, how we are giving them an uninterrupted experience, both at meeting the demand and also resolving the problem. So I think we are just ending in just 2-3 minutes, and very, very quickly, I would in fact, I'll just first of all sum up my experience. So I think we have touched upon the technology part of it, we have touched upon the security part of it, and then how citizen experience, and at all levels it is very clear and it is very, very transparent that to meet the gap between the demand and supply, to understand the challenges, to understand the faults, especially technology is sitting at the center of it, and this is the way forward. If you have to excel your operations, if you have to move towards a better citizen experience, and both internally and at the consumer level, technology is the way forward. So we have 3 minutes, and very, very quickly, I would want our all three esteemed panelists to just give a very, very small closing statement and a message, to all the viewers who have, to the delegates who have come here. This is the last session, and this is the last round that we are facing, and we are very delighted to have all here. Morning it was houseful, but now we have very less people. But then we have lots of people who are watching us online. Also, we are live on various channels on our eGov, Facebook, LinkedIn pages. So, closing remarks from all the gentlemen, and what has been your key takeaway for this session, because we have learned a lot from each other. So I'll start again with Mr. Naveen for the last time for this panel.
Yeah, thank you. I think one thing is very clear, that we have the IT is the way forward. We have to scale up our power generation facilities. As we said, the numbers are huge. I think what we have done in last more than 77 years, we have to do more than that in next 7 to 8 years. So this is a big challenge, and IT definitely is an enabler. We have to introduce the IT systems in all activities of power generation, transmission, distribution, to bring in efficiency. And thankfully, technology is living up to the mark, and we have many enabling technologies which are there to help us in achieving our targets. So it's a long road to go. We have to go hand in hand. So best of luck to all. Thank you so much.
My only suggestion is this, that now the time has come that we should educate our consumer also, that they should use smarter and power efficient devices, so that the power in the state should be optimally used as and when desired. That's all.
Again, I would like to impress upon the point that the DISCOM should have the clear picture of what is being distributed versus what is being taken back, which is a fiscal transaction that is happening between the DISCOM agencies to purchase the power, and the fiscal transaction happening between the consumers and the DISCOMs as a return of the revenue towards it. So this is very much important for the sustainable growth and self-sustainability of the DISCOMs. One. Number two, as Naveenji already shared, that there is a lot to be done across the region, and I will be talking about across the nation, wherein this energy efficiency has to be increased. We need to ensure the resources for the energy production are available, and being the part of the ecosystem to drive and efficiently ensure the consumption of the power. So the solutions available across the markets, I would say, the government should be open to look for the smart solutions available to smartly distribute the power to the consumer, and to smartly monitor their own devices, have the real-time dashboards available with them, and have the right manpower with right analytics looking into it, and have the better decision making.
Thank you so much. And this brings us to the end of this very, very interesting panel discussion. And last but not the least, and this is, in fact, should be the very key takeaway of today's session. And we have seen since the morning, we have talked about energy generation, transmission, distribution, then lots of important innovative technologies being shared. And through this panel, we are coming towards the end of this day-long conference, and this topic, role of IT in felicitating energy efficiency. We had three very dynamic gentlemen and I think we ended well on time. So kudos to all of us, because time management is also important when we are talking about IT and all. So over to Abhineet, and that is it from our side.